Today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of new builds versus old resale homes. Let's start with the pros first. When you're buying a new build versus an old resale home, it's new. Everything about it is new. You're the first owner that's going to live in it. You're the first owner that's going to be walking through the property. Everything is new. The second thing about a new build versus an old is it may come with warranty. So within the first 5 to 10 years of you buying the property, it may come with limited warranty. Another great thing about buying a new build versus old is you get to pick the designs. You get to go in there, choose a flooring, choose the countertops, the style, the theme of the exterior, everything you want. This is also a pro and a con, which I'll get to in a second. Another great thing about buying a new build versus an old home is there could be incentives when you're buying a new build, such as they might be giving away a free stove, fridge, washer, dryer, appliances, or they might even give you additional credit towards the closing costs if you go with their preferred lender. Now, this is also a pro and a con, which again, I'll get to in a bit. If you're choosing to go with their preferred lender, it may be limiting. Yes, they may be giving you incentives when it comes to closing costs, but shop around. A lot of times, your own lender could probably give you way more incentives compared to a preferred lender since it's all in-house. So it doesn't hurt to shop around since the credit bureau allows you to shop lenders within 30 to 45 days of you initially pulling your credit. Make sure you watch until the very end because I have some tips for first-time home buyers when it comes to buying new builds versus old homes. The second bad thing about buying a new build versus an old is that it's overpriced. Yes, you get to pick out your designs, the templates, the themes, all of that, but it's an upgrade. Normally what new builds do is you go in, you look at the model homes and you fall in love. Everything you see, a majority everything you see inside that model home is an upgrade. When you're starting with the base price of a new build, it may seem very affordable compared to an older home. But when you factor in the fixtures, the lights, the designs, the upgrades of the floorings, the paint is gonna cost extra, not including your landscaping in your backyard if you don't want bare dirt. So with everything now combined with your upgrades, the cost is gonna be significantly higher than when you first walked in. The next bad thing about buying a new build is that you're probably not gonna have a lot of yard space because nowadays a lot of new builds are like squished together so that way they can maximize the profit of selling the home. And if you have a bigger lot size, maybe a corner lot or a cul-de-sac that may be bigger than the normal new builds, there's another upgrade right there, your lot premium. Another con to new builds versus old is the Melloroos. What's being charged on these Melloroos could be police stations nearby, community parks, libraries. When you're buying new builds, because it's a newer community and that lot is a brand new development lot, chances are there's Melloroos and chances are property tax for that new build is going to be significantly higher than an old home, therefore increasing the cost on your monthly mortgage. If you are finding value from this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. It helps me out tremendously. The next bad thing to a new build versus an old is solar. Starting January 2020, solar is required on all new builds. If you want to buy a new build from a developer, you're gonna have to purchase the solar or lease it. I'm not gonna be going in depth regarding solar. That might be for another video. So if you guys wanna watch that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and leave a comment down below. So with solar now being an additional purchase, that's gonna eventually increase the purchase price of that home, or whether you lease it, that's now gonna also increase the monthly mortgage. So this is something to consider, and depending on who you are and what you're trying to accomplish with this new build, can be a pro or a con. When you're buying a new build versus an old, another con is the delays in the time frame you're gonna get to be able to move in. Chances are it might take up to 3 to 6 months, maybe even a year before your new build gets ready for you to move in. Versus a traditional old home where you can just buy it after the escrow period is done, you move in. Nothing about that. Another thing on top of the time frame too is the delays. If it's not sunny at all and it's always stormy, weather, rain, snow, whatever, it's gonna cause a lot of delays because contractors need to be outside. Another thing for new builds versus old is that it's gonna be a cookie cutter home, meaning that every home in that area or that community of that new build is gonna look identical. Yes, you get to pick the different designs, the flooring, the insides, the paint, etc. But the layout's gonna most likely be the same. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 out of the homes in that area are gonna be a different design, and this saves the builders a lot of costs when it comes to architecture plans, materials. Now, the biggest con I feel to a new build versus old is the area. It might look great in the beginning of the phase, but once you move in 4 or 5 years afterwards, the area may change drastically because depending on who moves in, depending on if investors purchase the home next to you and rented it out to tenants. So because of this, I feel that this is one of the biggest cons to buying a new build is because you don't know who your neighbor is going to be and you're taking a big gamble on the area. So because of this, you're going to have a big diverse of people moving into that same new build as you, and you don't really start to get a good sense of the area, whether it's good or bad, until you've lived in it for a couple years. Now, some of my tips for first-time home buyers when it comes to choosing between new build or old resale home is make sure you have your agent with you. Your own agent, not the agent that is in-house. Here's why. You, as a first-time home buyer, can be easily overwhelmed by the process of buying your first home, especially when it comes to a new build. And the hundreds of contracts that they're going to be sending you is going to be overwhelming. The lingo is going to be different. Therefore, having your own agent reading and proofreading and advising you on what's written on the contract is going to help protect your investment. Because there's been many times I hear stories about first-time homebuyers getting taken advantage of because they didn't bring in their own agent to assist them with the new build. New builds will only allow you to use your own agent if you bring them to visit that new build and sign you in on your first visit. If it's anything after that, they will not allow you to utilize your own agent. I don't know why they're so strict on that, but now you know. The second best thing why I would encourage you as a first-time home buyer to utilize your own agent when it comes to buying a new build is you don't pay for their commission. The developer is gonna be negotiating with your agent and working out a certain commission that they will pay your agent. None of that is coming out from your closing costs. If your goal is to buy multiple properties, or if your goal is to buy a home that is gonna be a forever home, I would probably advise you to buy an older home. Before you leave me a bad comment, let me explain. Buying an old home is gonna give you a sense and a feel for how home ownership is like. All the responsibilities, all the maintenance, all the fees. And chances are you're probably gonna move within 5 to 6 years. There's gonna be changes that you're gonna want to your home. And because buying a new build is so expensive and way above market value because it's new, if you're planning on selling within 5 to 6 years, chances are you're probably not gonna make your money back and you're probably just gonna break even. And if you're planning on utilizing that as a big lump sum to down for your next home, it might be pretty slim. And if you guys want to watch more videos, I have way more archives in this channel. If you haven't noticed already, you can check them out right here on this playlist right here. And I think I'm done talking for this video, so I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. The next bad thing about buying a new build versus an old is